Death Watch.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Brandon, the Game Master, and if you remember last time we played, Graham had been separated from his companions and found himself in the depths after falling down a chasm, and he slowly made his way back up to a point where he saw a bugbear and then was struck by a vision which rendered him unconscious, and that was the last thing that happened to him. With Fenrith, Casimir, and Rohan, they had been in a battle against a bugbear cleric and assorted enemies. Amongst them, a floating orb with eye stalks and a big eyeball, and two hobgoblins that they had met before and thought to be enemies showed up and aided them in battle. And after the battle ended, they're all in quite bad shape, but magic had ceased to function. And that's where we pick up. Now the battle has ended, and the hobgoblins and you have decided to work together after they told you that these elves routinely kidnap their people and use them in dark rituals. And Graham, you had fallen unconscious, and we'll start with you. So, consciousness sort of, appears and then fades and returns and then fades again. And then with difficulty, you manage to open your eyes and you see a stone floor stretched out before you. And you get the vague sense that it's moving away from you somehow. But as that confusing thought crosses your mind, you wake up enough to understand that you're being dragged along the floor. And then so with time, as your mind starts to piece together reality again, you see there's these massive muscled arms are wrapped underneath your arms and around your chest. And you hear nothing at first, but a loud ringing, and then that soon is pushed aside, and you pick up other sounds like the creak of leather, the sound of your own boots scraping on the stone, mixed with heavy clanking of your captor's boots. And you can hear the jingle and rattle of buckles and clips, and above all of those, you hear the bellows heavy breathing of the person or thing dragging you down the hallway. Each breath it takes in an alarming volume of air, and you can feel its chest rising and falling against your back. It seems to take much longer than is reasonable. Then you hear a voice that says, "Put him in that room and watch him. I'll go find Detak." And you hear a gruff, deep voice that's from somewhere behind you. "Let's just kill him." Another voice, this one your captor, says, and you feel the vibration in your head from him speaking. And then the other one says, "Don't be a," and then some unintelligible phrase. Everyone around here who gets the bright idea to get bright ideas ends up as food or fun for the trolls or worse. Just put him in there and watch him. I'll report it to Detak and we'll take credit for the capture. We play this right, we might just make it up a floor, the first voice says. "Yeah, you're right. Fine, I'll watch him. Just hurry back," your captor says. So the scenery shifts as your captor turns and pulls you around a corner, and the other bugbear swings into view, and he stands with his arms crossed, leaning against a wall. He's ugly and brutish, like all bugbears. And as your captor pulls you into a room, you see the other one turn to leave, but then he turns back as the thought occurs to him. "Gidruk, don't forget to take his weapons, in case he wakes up," he says. "Right," Gidruk agrees. You can feel him nodding his head. So then the bugbear turns and disappears down the hall, and the loud clank of his steel-plated boots echoes along after him. Now Gidruk drags you the rest of the way into the room and drops you on the floor next to a pile of wood. A moment later, you feel him pull Bloodtooth free of its sheath at your belt. Satisfied with this, he stands and walks over toward the doorway, where he leans against the wall and studies the dagger, occasionally sparing a glance back your way. So, let me show you the room you're in. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So, there you lie, and you're on your side, and then he's up there in that doorway there, facing away from you. But every now and again, he'll look back at you, but you can see that he's putting a lot of focus on Bloodtooth. So, you've got this room here. It's obviously used as like sleeping quarters because you can see a couple of dirty bedrolls laying on the floor. There's a fire pit and a wood pile next to it. In fact, that wood pile is close enough to it that like you just can't help but think how upset Rohan would get at you if you'd put wood that close to the fire, like out in the forest, That's one of the thoughts. So you got like this over in the corners. It's like piles of what you think used to probably be, crates and barrels and things like that, but they've rotted and sort of fallen apart. And there's, the ceiling in this room is probably 8 feet high, but you can only see it here and there because of the cobwebs. So what do you want to do?
They didn't bother to tie me up or anything?
No.
Well, I'll listen for a moment, see if the coast is clear, and then I'll get up and start looking around for something to arm myself with.
Okay, so as you're thinking about that, do a fortitude save.
Looks like I got a 13.
All right, so as you're thinking about getting up, you suddenly feel the sensation of 1,000 needles jabbing themselves into your skin. The sheath at your belt needles jabbing into your thigh, and then your armor everywhere it touches. You can feel that, and you just manage not to cry out when that happens. All right, but
is that the only thing they took off me?
Yeah, he just took your dagger. He just took Bloodtooth. But it does deal you 10 damage. So, now you're free to act if you want. So he, this happens, and you don't cry out, but you do straighten up and you do twitch, and you can see he's starting to turn back to look at you.
Yeah, I'll pretend to still be unconscious.
Okay, do a bluff.
Not a good bluffer. So I'll start snoring like a kid would pretend.
Hero point?
I'm not going to. It's funny. I do have a bunch of them. No, I'll let it stand.
You should also just roll a hide along with it so he hears fake snoring but can't find you.
All right, so yeah, you pretend to be still asleep, but he looks at you and he's like, "Hey, you're awake." And you can see him start his way over to you. So, let's do initiative. All right, so you have the initiative, but he has turned towards you and he's starting his way over towards you. As you can tell, your bluff obviously didn't work.
What? I think first off, I am going to... It was like a free action to activate the lights on our armor and such, right?
Well, if the armor was working.
Right, that's what I'm... There's been a period of time since the last time I tested this stuff out. So
yeah.
I'll see if it flares on.
It does.
Okay. Great. All magic items are working now.
Fireball.
If only I just have this silly healing rod.
Well, you just need to steal back through time and replace my fireball wand with your healing one.
I do have the magic missile one, though, and some scrolls.
You could light the scrolls on fire.
So I'll grab out that wand of magic missiles, and I'll threaten them.
Okay.
Stay back, or else.
All right. So you go to reach for that wand, but before you get to it, your hand is already full with blood tooth. Just appears in your hand. Right.
Well, that'll work too. I'll behave as though I didn't notice the discrepancy and tell him to stay back or else.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. So he looks at your hand and he's like, "Hey, what?" And he looks at his own hand. And then he snarls, "Foul magic!" And he charges you.
If this place is like the last place, they're sacrificing people here, and he's worried about a knife disappearing. Dumb bugbears.
Yeah, so he charges you, pulls out he's got a morning star, and he pulls that out as he runs towards you. Let's see.
You forgot to set your dodge.
That's true.
Because you're rusty.
If I said it, I would be rusty.
Forgetting is your default behavior.
Right.
All right, so he runs over to you, pulling out his morning star, sort of hops over that fire pit there and takes a swing at you. Right? What's your AC?
Well, it says 21 on my character sheet, but I have a -4 for some reason that I don't remember why I would have a -4.
You're prone.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Well, you had got up, right?
Well, no, I pretended to be asleep. I guess, yeah, I did get up and pull my dagger out and tell him, "Don't come any closer or else." I don't know. I threatened him.
All right.
So what is the defense? Well, I don't see any effects on me.
No, you don't have any effects on you. So why would that have hit? Oh, because you're flat-footed.
I don't think I can be flat-footed anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's why it thinks. Okay. So anyway, he swings at you and misses, and so this morning star slams into the floor at your feet, and you can feel the whoosh of it pass by you. But that's his turn. It brings it back to you. Let's see. Okay.
All right. Well, I don't have a token to target. Is he on the combat tracker? Tractor.
Yeah, can you see him now?
Yes. Gidruk. All right, so I'll slash out at him with a cry of surprise at his charge. Let's see how I do here.
It's a hit. All right.
Then I'll tumble away from him.
Start activating some jewels, too, if you got them.
Let's go. Guess I only got 15 feet. I don't think we've had a day since my haste boots run out yet, have we?
Mm-mm.
Dang it. Nowhere to tumble. Yeah, I guess I'll just do another attack then. Can I
Okay.
make that a full attack?
Yeah. All right, that's another hit. All right, so you slash at him and you get him like at the base of his throat, and with this next one you get it a little higher, and a spout of blood sprays out, and he slumps to the floor. He's trying to hold his blood in, but he's dead. And that leaves you in silence there, apart from his twitching.
Put on his armor.
It's a good plan, but he's like, how big are bugbears? They're like 7 feet.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
I will look over his corpse for, I don't know, like keys or something that might be useful for my upcoming miraculous escape.
Okay. So he has like his armor, he has got a dagger, and then he's got a sack that hangs from his belt on the opposite side of where his morning star was, and that sack is just full of just random junk, rotten food.
God,
No
what
keys.
You could technically coup de grace and probably fill some gems on your dagger.
Oh yeah, that's. Do I get? I don't get them from coup de grace though. Do I?
You could sneak attack on it.
That's true.
You don't know?
Well, finding nothing of interest, I'll go back to my original plan to look around the room. Just a quick skirt around the area, seeing if anything jumps out at me.
Okay. All right. So, in this room, like you got the 2 bedrolls and then the 2 stacks of like old rotted crates and then the wood pile, but that's it. There's nothing, you don't find anything of any value or interest. There is an axe on the floor, but it's a wood axe, for chopping the wood. It's not firewood either, like from a tree. It's like
Broken up
old
barrels
furniture
and boxes.
stuff, yeah.
Okay, well, if I find nothing of interest, then I'll try to leave this room. I want to be sneaky, though. So when I come to a corner or an intersection, I'll try to hide by one of the walls and I'll move silently throughout. Looks like this is my exit up there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before I do that, I think I need some healing. So I will try that rod. Hopefully the magic has returned to it as well.
Otherwise, you'll just club yourself to death.
I think I need a 20. I rolled a 19.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it just doesn't work for you.
Okay, so yeah, I'll glimpse down. This looks familiar from the last time. I think that stairwell's where I came up, right?
Yeah, off to the left. That's where you came up at.
So what's off to my right?
Yeah, so you just
more hallway.
You just see a long hallway. There is a branch off on the north wall that you can see.
Okay, I tiptoe down to that corner.
All right. So Rohan and Casimir and Fenrith, you guys are with these other hobgoblins, and you haven't moved on yet from that room where the battle took place. So this is where Fenrith alerts you to the fact that he's pretty much tapped out for healing spells. And you also feel that sensation of like needles jabbing into your skin. But for you guys, you have the ability to stop it from happening if you don't want it to happen, because you had learned how to control it.
So this is our
when you
magic
first
coming
got
back,
here.
right?
Well, you remember that like this was for some reason that you don't understand, your items had the ability to draw magical power from you directly, and it was painful, and it caused some other problems, but it did make it work. But you had learned how to make it do that on command, and because of that, you can stop this from happening if you want to, because you will take damage from it, you know that, but it will make your magical items work properly.
Okay. I'll let it happen for mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so all these needles like jab their way into your skin. You can feel, it feels like they're jabbing all the way into your bones. So Rohan, you'll take 8 damage. Here, I'll put it on there. And Casimir, you will take 5 damage. Fenrith will take 7. Okay. Yeah, so when that happens, then now you can feel the power return to your items, but here you are in this hallway. So what do you do?
I believe that we agreed last time to go in search of the ritual, right?
Yeah, that's what you guys had talked about last time.
Yeah.
Then we got to push onward, but we ain't looking too hot.
No.
I'm guessing the bugbears want to keep going.
Oh, the hobgoblins.
Yeah, hobgoblins. Sorry.
they're in fine shape.
Yeah, all right.
They're not suffering at all. I mean, they do look with concern, especially at Fenrith, but they don't talk a lot. So
It's just a constant stream of blood out of his mouth.
yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, if they have any idea where this ritual takes place, I'm more than willing to follow.
No,
Well,
we do not. We only know that it's forward.
what was it? Okay, yeah, then forward it is. I'll ready my trident and start walking.
All right. Okay, so Fenrith says, hold on a minute. Let me heal us the best that I can.
Does he cast one of his buff spells instead?
Yeah.
So
well,
the darkness that the dragon had been going through is gone now, right?
mm-hmm.
There was a door back there to the south that we had never looked in. To the north, one of the enemies had come out of, and I'm guessing the south was where another one had come out of. But while he's doing his spell stuff, I want to take a quick glance in there, make sure there's nothing else behind us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're talking about this room. And like the one up to the north, there's
I don't have a map.
nothing in there.
Which map was it?
Oh, I just
Okay,
shared it
one.
with you.
Yeah.
All right, so basically what Fenrith will do is he's going to have to sacrifice some of these spells for healing. So he can have one Cure Serious, which he will selfishly use on himself.
Yeah, no surprise there, though. Been around enough healers in MMOs. They're always the first ones.
So, yeah, so you see him bend his head and cast this spell, and this light energy flow through him, and some of the visible wounds you can see clear up a bit, but he's still obviously in bad shape.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
I'm guessing his buff ran out, or no?
No, I just did it. I did it wrong.
He didn't realize that he was undead when he cast heal on himself.
Oh, that would do it.
All right, so that gets rid of that. And let's see. He can do Cure Moderate Wounds, which we'll do on Rohan.
I'm going to suggest he does it on Casimir.
He ignores you.
Why would you suggest that?
Because you're a frontline fighter and I'm...
Not in any recent memory.
True. But that's because we keep getting attacked from all sides.
All right, well, he's not going to argue with you, so that'll heal Casimir for 16. And then he says, okay, I might have a little bit more, but we'll save it for emergencies, so let's head out.
I'll nod to him. Start going the directions that the hobgoblins pointed out, which I'm guessing is down around this corner here.
Yeah. Right, so you move down here and you're back. This is that, then the hobgoblins are moving ahead. And this is that room with the large statues in it, but no other features of interest. That leads to a hallway down here. And they stop here and wait for you because there's 2 doors on the side of this hallway. So they're waiting for you to decide what you guys are going to do next. So you can see the doors there. Now, do you follow? How close do you follow Rohan?
I'll be about 10 feet behind Casimir.
Okay. Right. So you see, you go through this big door here, and they've stopped, and on either side of this hallway, there's a door. So they're waiting to see what you guys want to do.
Any identifying marks on the doors?
No, they're just simple wood doors.
All right.
But one of the younger hobgoblin, because the older one doesn't talk, the younger one says, we can't be sure if there's anything behind these doors or not. We shouldn't leave them behind us without checking.
All right. Rohan, you see any foot traffic?
Let's see if I do. There you are.
Are you also our backup thief?
Sort of. I can't really do much.
Hmm.
Or really anything.
Yeah, there's lots of footprints you see disturbing the dust, going both ways, in different sizes, obvious bugbear, and then smaller feet, more the size of your own. And then you see signs of things with shuffling gaits that don't quite lift their feet all the way up as they move forward.
So yeah, I'll point all this out.
So like this hallway sees plenty of traffic is what you can tell.
Well, then I guess it doesn't matter which way. We'll see action.
Yeah, and some of this is probably the enemies that we've seen come this way.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. By ancient decree, we will take the right door.
Okay. All right. So
I can open lock, but I cannot search for traps.
Don't worry. I'll be searching for traps immediately.
Okay.
I'm going to open the door.
all right, Casimir, you open this door and this particular room is empty. Here, let me.
Actually, I guess I could start kicking doors in. Maybe not ones like this, but that is standard fighter way of opening doors.
Yeah. This is just an empty room. There's not even any sign to tell you what it might have been used for at any point. There's thick dust all over the ground. The hinge creaks as if it hasn't been used in a long time, but you don't detect anybody or anything in there.
All right, I'll look to the kid hobgoblin, make sure he's satisfied with the empty room.
Yeah, because after you open it up, he goes in to take a look, but he nods back at you.
Okay, and then I guess left door.
All right, so this one, there's no enemies you see, but this one obviously gets some use.
Okay.
So this has bedrolls in it, and it has a pile of broken barrels in the corner. But these two bedrolls have clearly seen some use, and there's a torn tapestry barely hanging on the wall in the bottom left corner of this room, and underneath it there's a bucket that's obviously used as a chamber pot.
Well, we now know why I don't usually lead the party. Looks like your instincts were right, Rohan.
But the older hobgoblin steps in there and looks around, and he looks back and nods his head at you.
Must be one of the doors in the hallway then, right?
Well, either that or the tapestry's hiding a secret door.
Okay.
Yeah, do a quick search of the room.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your search.
Just a second. I gotta shift around the windows to get there. It is.
All right, so you go in there and you look in the obvious places, like behind the tapestry and in that pile of broken barrels, but you don't find anything.
All right.
Now, in one of the bedrolls, you do find a polished skull. By its size and shape, you think it, and just going by what you've encountered down here, it seems likely that it's a halfling skull. But it is real bone. It's not, made out of any odd material. And it doesn't bear any signs that pique your curiosity as far as magical or whatever. It's just a skull.
Spell component.
I don't really have anything that it would use for.
I'll take it. Break it down. To bone dust. Playing Skyrim.
Right. So then you find that, but now the hobgoblins have moved down here, and the hallway goes off to the left, and the young one whispers back that there's another door up here.
Okay. I'll let Fenrith take the lead. Or Casimir take the lead.
All right, yeah. I'll go and I'll open the door. I've seen Graham do it. I won't be super sneaky, but I'll open the door, poke my head in first type of thing.
Okay. So,
What?
I just got this image of, when your parent opens the door and just sticks their head in to ask how you're doing. I kind of imagine enemies being in there and you just poke in. Hi.
And then I step in and start murdering them all,
Yeah.
just like, real parents.
Just like a parent when they find you doing something you're not supposed to. Or
Yeah.
Sheila with her battle axe.
Mm-hmm.
So, Casimir, you found another empty room. It has another pile of broken crates and furniture in the corner, but there's nothing else you notice in here of any interest at first.
Yeah, I'll swing the door open the rest of the way and motion Rohan to go do his search
Okay.
while I go on to the next door if there is one.
All right, Rohan. So you come in here. This the younger hobgoblin is in here as well, and Casimir moves on with the older one, and Fenrith sort of like brings up the rear, but tries to keep equal distance between you two. So this hallway, Casimir ends at another door, but the monk, you can see he reaches for the handle and then looks back at you and shakes his head because it's locked.
Okay. Just so you know, I can't see anything on the map.
Just open your eyes.
Okay, I still can't see anything on the map.
How about now?
Still black.
For you, Casimir?
Oh, yeah. But for the most part, I think we're kind of doing fine. You don't got to worry till we get a bad guy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now I can see.
Now, can you see anything you're not supposed to be able to see?
I can see where we came from. Are we not supposed to see that? Or is it
No,
more
you can see that. That's fine.
I can't see what's on the other side of the door. So.
Perfect. Okay.
I see a savage elven sorceress and a savage bugbear cleric.
Oh, those, I just moved them there to get them. They don't exist.
Okay, and it looks like a closed door in that room that I'm in.
Yeah, so roll a search
Okay.
because you don't see a door there.
This will take some intense acting on my part to believe that I don't see it. Unless I do.
Was that your acting skill?
Yes.
Okay.
So you do. So you go in that room and look around, and you spot along that wall there, which just looks like a wall. You do see a tiny pinprick of light shining through. You just barely catch it,
Okay.
and then you move forward, and you can definitely tell. With your elven skills, you can definitely tell that this section is different from the rest, and this is clearly like a hidden door.
Okay. Yeah, I'll motion to the younger hobgoblin to bring Casimir in and to kind of motion the rest of them to come back in.
Okay. Yeah, so Casimir, you're up here with this older one, and he has tried the door, and it's locked, and he shakes his head. And that's his way of letting you know it's locked. And then you hear a psst, and you can see this younger one back there motioning you in.
All right. Yeah, I'll head back into the room.
And while he's going to find and bring them back, I'm going to search for some sort of a trigger or latch or something that can open this up.
If only Graham were here, he'd find all the pitfalls and then...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You have been pretty good at that, Rohan.
Yeah. Yeah, I can find all of them blindly and trigger them all.
You were real quick to rat him out there, Travis. Just keeping the record straight.
I did find the last one, that's true, but I'm more astute at finding like ball lightning, chain lightning.
I don't know. In that first dungeon, you had a lot of luck finding spikes that jabbed through you.
That's true. But there was only one in the pit, and I think I saved on that one. The rest of them were like in chests and whatnot.
That was just him proving he wasn't a vampire.
See? But I listened to that not too long ago because we were like downstairs looking at some scrolls that had small little traps on them.
Yeah.
And you were like moving your token all around the map. And Brandon's like, hey, what are you doing? Just said, no, that's not good. Nope, stay there.
Okay. Rohan, did you roll a search?
Another one?
Yeah, to see if you can find out how to open that thing.
I haven't yet, but I will. I may have to take a 20 on it.
All right. So, so you're running your hands over that stone, trying to find the secret way to open it. And as that's happening, you hear like a really loud thud and a snarl from back in the hallway behind you. So roll initiative, everybody.
A thud and a snarl, huh?
Yeah, like the sound of a door opening and hitting the wall, and then you hear a loud snarl. Okay. Right, so you hear like the clear sound of like the jingling of armor and a weapon. You can hear like a hollow sort of thud that you recognize as somebody being hit. And Fenrith shouts, "We got trouble out here." And you can see him, Casimir and Rohan, you can both see him pull his sword and charge down the hall. You can see him move just out of your sight. And that'll bring us to, then you see this younger monk. He charges down. You can hear his footsteps, and you hear a shout, like a hiya. And that brings us to Rohan.
I wish it would stop changing that. Okay, so I'll limber my bow as I walk out into the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, so as you get out into the hallway, you see these two monks have engaged that bugbear cleric.
Okay.
He's come out of that room, and he's attacking the older one.
All right, I'm actually going to delay or set an attack option for if he starts casting a spell to try and interrupt him.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll delay I think it's my multi-shot. Or, no, my many-shot.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. So if he tries to cast, then it'll proc.
Okay. All right, Casimir, that brings us to you.
All right. I will step out into the hallway.
Yeah, so...
Where am I going? There we go. And I will... I'll ready my trident and do what Rohan's doing. I'll throw it at him if he starts casting a spell.
Okay.
Looks like we skipped Bubba Bob's turn.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you can see that cleric continuing to swing at that older monk, but so far the monk's defenses aren't letting any attacks through. And let's see, what can Fenrith do? He really can't do anything. So this older monk, he launches just an obscene amount of strikes, almost too quick to see. And for sure, some of those attacks get through because you can see the bugbear take a hard hit to the chin. Let's see, what have I done here? Yeah, that's better. And Rohan, that brings us to you.
Okay, so he didn't cast anything last time, he just
Nope.
fired?
No, he's just swinging with his Morning Star.
All right. Then in that case, I'm going to unleash a full flurry of arrows at him as I step forward. So kind of my normal step fire.
Okay.
Looks like 2 hits.
2 hits. Okay, so yeah, you do 7 damage and 11 damage. So these arrows streak by the monks and slam into him. Anything else?
No, that's what I'm going to do that turn.
Okay, Casimir.
Is he like off to one side of the hallway? Could I move through a bug or a hobgoblin?
Yeah.
Okay. And get attack opportunity on me. So,
Yeah, you could make it to like here or here.
yeah, I'll go for one of those. It doesn't matter which.
Okay.
So attack opportunity on me.
Okay.
Would he get flanking when he attacks? I mean, Casimir.
No, I'm not on the opposite side.
So he swings at you as you squeeze by there, and he does hit
All right.
for 16 damage.
Jeez.
What what is your alignment? Are you a good alignment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as he hits you, you can feel this burst of evil come off of his morning star and sort of like worm its way through you. It feels like some oily substance, but it does extra damage to you. An additional 7 damage. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'll attack him. Let's go with a trip. So this will be a touch attack.
I'm not. Okay, so you got the 19?
Yeah,
It's
touch
a
attack.
touch attack. It's a miss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's something really weird going on here.
Oh, well, the attack roll wasn't registered as a touch. It was just my melee.
Oh, I see. Okay. Then yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. So oppose strength or dex, whichever's higher for him. Is he large?
No.
Okay, so no bonuses. Plus 4. Oh, come on.
Okay, you won that.
All right, he's prone, and I get an immediate attack opportunity on him.
Okay, hang on. Okay.
And it's a crit failure. All right, that's my turn.
All right. All right, so he'll stand up.
Attack opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
For the hobgoblins too, right?
Yeah. All right, yeah, so he goes to stand up and you jab him with your trident, and that younger hobgoblin just hits him like right perfectly in the center of his forehead, and you watch his head cave in from it, and he falls to the ground dead. It's like his brains are leaking out. So that's that. He's dead, and that'll be you, Rohan.
Okay, I don't see any more threats anymore, right?
No, you don't see any.
Okay. Then I guess I will just take a chance to listen for any other enemies.
Okay.
Oh. Nah, I won't hero point it. So yeah, that's what I'll do my turn.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try and listen for.
All right.
I guess I'll take a move up a little bit closer to where the rest of them were.
All right. So, Casimir, you can see into that room where he came from.
Mm-hmm.
This is you don't see any enemies in there, but this is a nice, clean room. It's a purpose room. There's you don't see any area for sleeping. So it's like an area for working. You can see a desk and all sorts of scrolls and papers on it, and then a large chest, and then there's a large circle drawn in the floor with some dark color with some arcane, or not arcane, but some religious designs in it. So that's what you can see just at a glance in that room. Okay, and then let's go back to Graham. So Graham, you've come up here and you can see down this long hallway. You're at like an area where it branches up, but there's also an end to this hallway that you can see, a room down further that way as well. So which way would you like to go?
Well, before I carry on, I want to try that wand again.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, you got a 1.
Can't use it again today.
Is that the rule?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're just.
Does anything happen?
I don't. Does
When
it? Does
It doesn't say. That's just the mechanical effect. I just wonder if like a puff of smoke comes out.
Oh, yeah. The wand goes limp.
It's me.
Yeah.
I'll have to get that looked at. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be shocked for a moment. Oh, this is new. And I'll decide to go the passage to my left, because that's how Graham does things.
Okay.
Backwards, man.
Okay, Graham. So you go down this small hallway, and it opens up to the left and the right. It's a section where the passage branches to the left and right. And you can just see on the right and left side walls some doors.
Yeah, so I will pause and listen there, see if I hear any activity coming from further on.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your listen. Okay. Okay, you don't hear any sounds.
Okay, so I will move up to this corner.
Okay.
Sorry, one sec here. So that door that I see is closed. Oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
So I'll move up next to it, press my ear to is it a wood door?
Yeah.
Yeah, press my ear to it.
Okay. So you can hear, when you press your ear to it, you hear a conversation taking place.
Is it about turnips?
No, not all of it anyway. You can hear a familiar voice saying, yeah, we got him in a room out there. And
But did you see the turnip?
we captured him, an intruder. And then you hear some mumbling.
Which way does this door open? Into the room or out into the hall?
It would open inwards.
Okay. So I will carry on up to here. I'm actually pausing at the corner in the cover of there so I can hide if necessary when I peek around the corner.
Okay. All right. So looking around that corner, you see another long hallway that you can see there's another wall at the end of it, but a branch to the left and the right, just like this one you're in.
Okay.
So as you start moving down that hallway, you hear behind you that door open and you hear a couple sets of boot steps clanking off away from you.
Don't have long now. They're going to find that other bugbear I put into a deep sleep.
So here you can see an open doorway off to the left and then a door to the right.
So I can't actually, so in this room, I can see through these walls that are like the inner circle there?
You can?
I can, yeah. Am I not supposed to?
Oh, oops.
Where there's like three holes or something? Don't need to check that area.
There.
Okay, and just to remind you, I'm moving half speed so I can be quiet
Okay.
when necessary. So let's go up to this corner, peek around it.
All right. So yeah, peeking around that corner, it's just an empty room. You don't see anything in there.
And then we'll glimpse into this one.
Yeah, so this room, whatever it might have been originally, it's clearly a latrine. There's 3 holes in the floor that have evidence on the edges that the users aren't always accurate. So you got a real foul stench coming from this room.
There's probably treasure in there, but gotta keep moving. So on this door, that was weird. I'll put my ear to it as well.
Okay. You do hear light, sounds like a snore coming from that room.
Perfect.
Bloodtooth lets out a squeal.
Ooh, goody. I'll test the latch or the knob.
Yeah, it's not locked.
Okay, I'll push it open a crack enough to get my head through and poke it in and look around.
I'm just laughing at the idea that you do that and I'm on the other side of the room doing the same thing. And now we got to kill each other.
All right, so you open that door and you can see into that room now. It's really messy, really dirty, but there's bedrolls here and there, piles of garbage, and 2 of the bedrolls are occupied by snoring bugbears. They don't seem to have taken notice of your entry.
Okay, I'll give it a couple beats as I look around. I'm just seeing if there's anything of note that will jump out at me that might be useful. Otherwise, my intent is to jam up the door on this room as I leave it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anything that catches your eye.
I want to try to do it quietly. Do you want like a penalty or something on that disabled device? Or is it just not possible?
No, everything's possible. But yeah, we'll do -4.
Okay.
Jam up the door with bugbear guts.
I can't get this door open. Somebody put bugbear guts in it. Those are your guts.
Oh. All right.
These aren't mine.
Oh, they're mine.
Okay, -4. Up. And we have the important matter of bugbear guts.
I just think it's perfectly plausible that Graham would jam up a door with the occupants dead inside.
Looks like I got a 16. How does my work look?
Good. So you close that door and you understanding the workings of door latches, you're able to break a pin that's going to keep it in that closed position.
Okay, so with this area secure, I'll continue on, keeping a careful ear out for those guys that I heard earlier
Okay.
until I get to that other door that was to the south.
All right. Yeah, so that door's closed.
What do I hear there?
In this room, you can hear some things that immediately stand out. There's like a guttural laughter, and then you hear the sound of dice, what sounds like dice rolling on a table. You can hear at least 3 distinct voices.
I think I'll leave this one alone, but actually maybe...
Play a hand or two. Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't established myself too much as the gambling rogue.
Well, it's because they're playing dice and you're
Right.
more of a card shark. But if it was it Rafe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rafe would join them.
I'll try to jam this one up too, if I can. You want the same -4?
Yeah.
Or is it more difficult because I only have one side of the door
No.
access to?
No, you can manage it from here.
Okay.
Mm.
Only a 10 that time.
Okay, let's see. That's good enough to jam your lock. So yeah, you managed to jam that one up as well. And based on the voices, it doesn't seem like anybody noticed because their conversation and their game continues on. So you move to here, and from here, you're able to detect the cry of alarm from those people discovering the bugbear you killed. Like you hear a voice that you haven't heard before say, "What happened? Find him."
All right, I want to quickly dart over to the room where I heard the people leave
Yeah.
and get in there for a moment and hide.
Okay.
All right, dang it.
You close the door behind you.
Yeah,
Okay. So you come in here and you close the door, and you look and you can see 3 separate directions you could go. Straight ahead, there's a closed door, and then off to your left-hand right is an open passageway. And right as you get in there and turn around and look and see that, you start to hear a bell going off. A bell like a normal bell, but it's coming from everywhere.
okay.
So you can tell that there's some magical quality to it. But it's that ding, 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 ding.
Well, from my thieves' tools, I'll grab that wedge out with a tiny mallet and put it underneath the door.
Okay.
And then I'll go take a look around this room.
All right. So once you get to this juncture here, you can see the hallway goes to the north and ends at a closed door. Straight ahead, there's the closed door. And to the south is a stairway that goes up. This set of stairs leads up into darkness.
My friend should be just at the top of these stairs. If they go for 6 miles, anyways. And I'll start heading up those stairs.
All right. Okay, Casimir. So you're in this room here, and what do you do?
Well, give it a quick search. Stay out of the way of the symbol is what I'll tell to my traveling companions.
Okay.
We don't know if the circle, what it's used for. Some sort of spell, most likely, but
What would you like to focus your attention on?
I'm directing Rohan, so I'll just keep a lookout like I usually do.
All right, Rohan.
I'll mention that there's a hidden door back in this other room
All right.
that I'd still like to try and open.
Well, hopefully it's our way to where
Yeah, wherever
next location. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll head back into that room and ask Casimir to come with me as I look for the way to open the door.
Still need to search the cleric stuff. Search the cleric stuff.
Leave Fenrith for that.
Okay.
It's a good thing he didn't explode.
Okay. So what, Casimir and Rohan are leaving? Going back to the other room? Is that what I heard?
I am.
Okay, well, the younger monk will follow you, Rohan.
Is there any sort of like table looking stuff in here?
Yeah. Can you not see the room?
I can see it. It's just that it looks like a bunch of crates and barrels.
Okay. Yeah, on the bottom wall, those are crates and barrels. They're not rotted or they're in great shape.
Okay.
On the top wall, there is a desk.
Okay.
It's got some scrolls sticking out of the cubbies.
Well,
And then next to that is a massive chest,
okay.
an ornate carved. It's a very well-made chest with silver bindings and carvings in the wood.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to go search the desk.
Okay. So Fenrith, he is circling around the outside of this this symbol that's set into the floor. And as you get to the desk there and you look at it, Casimir, you can see that it's not drawn. It's carved. An indent in this shape was carved, and then something was poured into it. It's black, but it has a metallic look to it. And Fenrith, he's looking at it, and and that old monk is standing next to him looking at it too. But that old monk is more looking everywhere versus just staring at it the way Fenrith is. But Fenrith says that this looks to me like if someone had decided to worship the very concept of evil itself rather than any individual evil entity. And he starts pointing at some of the things and saying none of this here relates to a specific entity, but all of it relates to evil. And there's a bit of chaos and law thrown in there as well. But this is definitely a religious symbol that seems to lack a figurehead.
Kind of like our worship of the elements.
It's a lot like that, except for theirs clearly seems to grant them some power. And that old monk, he doesn't say anything, obviously, but he nods his head emphatically when Fenrith says this. So you go to search the desk, and it's got a lot of papers on top of it with a spidery, evil-looking script. So what were your languages?
Oh, give me a second.
So you had Aquan, Common, Elven, Goblin, and Orc. Okay. So this particular writing is that same situation where it's so close to Elven
Almost.
that it angers you because it's so close that you should be able to understand it, but you can't. Do a search check.
All right. Oh.
Ow.
What?
Okay. What was the -2 from?
I'm probably still shaken from the dragon,
Oh.
right? I think you are too.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of those effects on you guys.
You could leave the animal.
Rohan's not shaken.
Yeah, but I can get rid of that resist acid. That should be gone by now.
And yeah, Casimir is.
So yeah, I'm just rifling, looking for anything that might catch my eye, and it's looking like it's just too foreign cleric stuff.
Yeah, so far that's what it looks like. But while you're doing that rifling, you do give yourself a paper cut.
Oh no.
And
I call that Mage Bane.
you're looking at the, like you give yourself a paper cut, and who cares? I mean, it's not like you're going to, write a journal entry about it, but it's annoying. But you're looking at that sheet that cuts you, and you watch the script, the words, they start moving on the page towards your hands. So do a reflex save.
Any traps that we set off, I'm blaming on Graham.
All right, so you you're agape at it at first because it's crazy, but just before these letters start to reach your fingers, you manage to drop it, and as it flutters to the ground, you can see that they've stopped moving, but they're definitely now not in the order they were when you first picked up the sheet, right? So it wasn't like an illusion. So that's what happens while you're looking through that desk. By this time, Fenrith has moved over to the crates, and he's picked up a nearby crowbar that was leaning against the stack, and he starts prying those open. Now, Rohan, before that combat, before that cleric had bust out of that door and attacked the monks, you had found how to open this.
Okay.
So you know where the catch is.
Okay, if I knew where it was, then I'll wait until Casimir and Fenrith are done looking, and instead I'll go to that chest and try and open it.
Okay?
I wonder if my trap instincts worked with you, because I really want to take a couple steps away.
Yeah, can't search for traps, but I can open the lock that will set it off.
All right. Yeah, so you get to that chest, and you can see that it is locked.
Okay.
So yeah, when you're walking past, I'll warn you, beware of the parchments. The writing on them seems to be some sort of curse.
Yeah, everything in this place seems to be cursed in some fashion or another. All right, so I'll try and open it or unlock it. Nice. Not too bad.
Yeah, you're actually pretty impressed with yourself, because a lot of the mistakes that you make early in the process that Graham's always shaking his head about, you don't make those this time, but still, it's beyond your skill.
Okay. In that case, I'd have to take a 20.
Yeah, do an intelligence check. You're smart enough to realize that cleric came out of this room and there's a religious icon on the floor, and so he might have some ownership over this chest, and maybe he has the key.
Okay. I'll go search his body. Back across the room.
Okay. So when you go to search his body, now, due to using the powers of the game master, I will say that you all already noticed that his armor, which looked amazing, very well crafted and strong, has already begun to sort of chip
Corrode.
and not corrode in the sense that like acid, but
Like rust.
yeah, like rust. You can't see any rust, but that's the effect that rust has. That's what's happening here.
Kind
It's
of
like
pitted look.
parts of it are crumbling away, and
flaking.
whereas before it was clearly made out of a metal, now some of it's starting to look sort of like coal, maybe, as it's starting to crumble away. But he does still have other usable items. So on him, you find still usable, like his shield and his armor and his weapons. They're all crumbling and falling away. But he's got 3 potions. Well, he's got 7 potions. 3 of them you're pretty sure are cure moderate, and 4 of them you're pretty sure are cure serious. Now, I'll put that on the party sheet So you guys can decide how to divvy it up, but let me get a...
Kick Graham from the party before he can ninja.
Yeah. I was going to suggest we just go the Graham route and drink them all right now.
No, I think you and Fenrith should, for sure. Maybe save one for Graham.
I need one.
And then he's got 3 other potions that you don't recognize what they are.
Okay.
Just by looking at them. Like the cure ones, you can tell by the colors now because you've used them so many times, but these ones you can't even guess.
Sipping on them probably doesn't do the job for us anymore.
We'll have to keep these hidden ones away from Graham, too.
And he's got 5 scrolls on him.
I need them. Look at my wand.
No, I meant the ones we haven't identified yet.
Hell, I guess he could identify them for us.
The hard way?
Yeah. It's like, was it that one time John's character drank from the dragon fire? Like wells? I don't quite remember what it was. It was gore.
Oh.
But we were in a temple to Tiamat, and there was a bunch of pools. Each one...
Oh, yeah. And he, like, taste tested it?
Yeah, he taste tested all of them.
Yeah.
And they all did damage based on the chromatic color that they were.
Okay, so look in the party sheet and you'll see all those things and you can decide what to do with them. And he does have a key.
Okay.
He's actually got a ring of keys. There's 3 different keys on it. You can tell for sure which one is for the chest, though, because it's got a little inlay of a chest on it. So these 3 keys, each of them is about the size of a dagger. They're big keys.
So, yeah, I'll uncork one of the Cure Serious Wounds and drink it and tell Fenrith and Casimir that there are some healing potions over here.
Okay. Yeah, Fenrith will drink one of the Cure Serious as well.
Is it 48?
It'd be 48 plus the minimum caster level.
Yeah, what was that for that level? Was it 7?
Yeah, so Cure Serious is a 4th level cleric spell, or 3rd level, sorry. So it'd be 48 plus 5, right? Or 3d8 plus 5.
Cleric gets their first 4th level at...
Third.
It's 3rd level.
At
At 5th level, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, 3d8 plus 5.
3d8 plus 5. All right. Oh, are you rolling it for us?
I'm rolling Fenrith's.
Okay. There's mine. So 20 hit points healed.
Yeah, so Fenrith downs one of those now. So go on the party sheet and assign those to your inventory, however you want to do it. And tell me which ones Fenrith would keep. Like he looks at like the scrolls and he can tell you that they are, well, never mind. He can tell you what the scrolls are. He recognizes them. So you've got 4 Cure Critical Wounds scrolls, 1 Command Undead scroll. And as for the potions that you don't recognize, 2 of them he doesn't either, but he can tell you one of them is Tongues.
Okay. I'd be okay just letting him have all the scrolls.
Yeah, for now. Eventually, he'd probably give some of those to Graham because he might not be able to use some, or wants Graham to have more curing.
And then, are you going to use one of the Cure Serious Wounds?
I don't think so, not yet. I think I might keep it on me, though.
Okay. And then if we want to divvy up the Cure Moderate Wounds so that each of us has one.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. How do I only drag one of those items? Do I just drag the whole thing and just mark it down, or?
I think it'll only do one at a time.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Unless you hold in shift and then it'll do all of them. I think. I know for sure it'll only do one at a time if you just click and drag it.
Okay. Well, click and drag. Cure Serious?
Yeah, it just takes one at a time that way.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, he used a Cure Serious, so that's one less. And then...
Yeah, and then I used one of the Cure Serious, so...
Which of what's remaining would Fenrith take?
I think that would leave 2 Cure Serious since Casimir's not taking one, and
I
one
took
cure.
one. I didn't drink it.
Oh, you took one?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would leave one cure serious and one cure moderate for him.
Okay.
And then I'll hold on to the unidentified items
Yeah.
until I can identify them. Are those potions? Those ones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then when I take the key back to the chest, I will do like I had seen Graham do to search for traps, even though it has no effect.
Do you want me to take the unidentified items, Brandon, or do you want me to leave them there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, here. Yeah, take them.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to go up and you're going to look around and see if you detect any traps, and then you're going to open this chest.
Yep. Kaboom.
All right, so you slide that key in there and you turn it now. All right. So, Graham, you had gone up the stairs. When you reach the top of the stairs, you find a door, a stone door with writing on it, and it's locked.
Better search that for traps. What kind of language does it look like the writing's in? Is it something I can read?
It's
Elven or Common or Aquan?
yeah, it's neither. It's frustratingly close to Elven. Like
Okay.
you think you should be able to understand it, but for some reason you just can't.
Well, yeah, let me give you my search.
Okay, you don't detect any traps.
I'm checking to
never
see if
does.
Casimir's taken 2 steps back. Oh, that's right. You're not here.
No, but he takes 2 steps back from me out of.
Well, no, I take 4
Yeah.
because I can sense Graham about to open a door too.
Yeah, so I'll try to open it.
Okay, do your open lock.
Just keep rolling so low.
Well, no, that's good enough. You're able to open the lock. It's not a very
Sophisticated.
like
one.
for as ornate and serious as the door looks, the lock is like it doesn't fit. You know?
IKEA.
Yeah,
Oh,
right. It's like
you're gonna have to probably bleep that, so that way we don't get.
IKEA can suck my beep.
Now they'll never be our sponsor.
Who?
IKEA.
I never heard of them.
Okay.
Do they make locks? All right. So when you open that, that leads you into a room, 10 by 10, and there's like broken crates and barrels, furniture, and dust everywhere. But there is one ladder on the far wall that leads to a hatch in the roof or the ceiling.
Okay, after a cursory glance around the room, I will head towards the ladder.
Okay. Yeah, so it goes up about 10 feet and then there's a hatch. It's not locked.
Okay. I'll open it a crack and see what I can see.
Right. So you open it a crack and a little bit of your light, goes through that crack, but all you can see from where you are is the wall, the corner of the room above you.
Okay, so I gotta open it fully.
Yeah. And that
Don't hear anything though?
roll a listen.
Mm.
You hear you do no, you don't hear anything.
Okay, I'll throw the hatch back fully. Pull myself up into the room.
All right, give me 1 second here.
The way you said that reminded me of the time John threw open the lid in our Mech Warrior campaign.
Oh, you mean the briefcase with a
Yeah.
bomb in it?
Yep.
There was a bit of a misunderstanding there, I think, too.
Yeah, but didn't he like search for traps?
I thought he rolled so poorly that we just decided.
That's how we narrated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way
That's-
you said, "I'll just throw this open," kind of reminded me of that moment.
I vaguely remember a separate instance where it was a mercury switch,
That was in Brandon's campaign.
right? And somebody was trying to move it.
You okay there, Brandon? That was a lot of pained sighs.
Yeah.
It's only just going to come back to haunt us immediately.
Yeah, I'm trying to make. Let's see.
So does Graham get a sense that Rohan's about to do something stupid?
I don't know if I've ever gotten that sense about any of my companions. Because however stupid they get, I can get stupider.
Well, do you even get that about yourself?
No.
So, yeah. So.
Well, that's how because I was thinking about putting some points in bluff and the way, for setting up a sneak attack. But the way I feint is I actually trick myself, not the enemy. I don't know what I'm going to do next.
Sounds pretty chaotic.
Okay, so here you are, Graham. Can you see that map?
Yeah.
Can
Am
you
I supposed to see as much of it as I can see?
No. How about now?
I can still see the whole thing. I'll just zoom in. Now I can't see myself.
Good. All right. Let me put you back on there. All right. How about now?
I can still see the whole map.
You'll see a grumbling black dragon that's on the verge of death, just sitting there shaking his head like, where did I go wrong?
Now I see nothing but my token.
Good. All right.
I always mess up my movement, so I do a little back and forth before I go anywhere. That's the Graham style of moving. It's like an OCD thing.
Okay. How about now?
All right, now you got it perfect.
Now you come up to this door, and from here, we'll just keep that listen. You got your ears trained. From here, you can detect the low mumble of a conversation.
Beyond the door?
Beyond the door, yeah.
Well, I'll wait a little while, see if they go away.
Okay. Yeah, so you can't detect any actual words. You can just, you hear people conversing.
Man, how long can people have conversations for? I'll try to open the door a little bit, see if I can look at them.
Okay. So you open the door, and that's what you see there. So it's sort of a wide hallway here that opens up into a very large room, clearly bigger than your vision sees. But there's a thick or rich carpet on the floor up ahead.
It's a nice one. Clearly, these people are civilized.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that everything is clean. Like the floors are marble and they shine, and the walls are all clean. There's no cobwebs. There's no dust. But you up ahead in that room is where you hear the conversation coming from.
But I don't see them?
No, not from your angle.
Okay. In that case, I'll try to creep forward. I'll sidle along the northern wall
Okay.
till I get to that corner. Or whenever. I'll stop if I see something and flatten myself.
Yeah, so it's up at that corner where you, down to the bottom, you see two massive doors. These are the kind of doors that castles have, that are 20 feet tall. That's what you got here. And then up there, you can see two bugbears carrying spears. They're standing next to each other, having a conversation. When you get up there to that corner is right when their conversation has ended, at least for now, and they start walking away and they disappear down this hallway.
I should probably just leave this place, but I think there might be some good stuff in here. So I'll tiptoe across to the other side.
All right, so tiptoeing across, what you see up in that northern area that they walked into, you see the brown parts.
Huh?
What that is the best I can do at depicting that hallway is about 20 feet high, and that is wooden braces
Okay.
up at the top, right? So these large timbers, nicely carved, but timbers nonetheless, are used as braces and decoration. But
So I can only see part of it, but as I pass through that room, does it seem possible to move across those?
Yeah,
walls?
well, exactly. It looks, it would be very easy to move up there on those.
Sneaking mission.
Yeah. So you get across there and you got this door here.
Yeah, so I want to give my usual listen at the door.
Okay.
Do you want a new check?
Yeah. Do a new check and I'll keep it for a while, but put it in the tower. Okay. You don't hear anything at that door.
Okay, I'll try that handle, see if it's locked.
Yeah, it's not locked.
I'll peek in there.
So through here is a circular room, but it's empty. There's not even any like tapestries or decorations on the wall. It's just an empty room. It's hard to tell what, if anything, it might have once been used for.
Okay, I'll move up to the next one and repeat the same process.
Yeah, same thing there. It's not locked, but when you open it, you see another hallway headed north that also has the timber bracing up above.
So you want a climb check to climb up into that?
Yeah, you would need to climb to get up there, and it would be pretty difficult, at least from here.
Never put your rope in the bag of holding. All right, I'll try it. Maybe I'll get lucky.
All right. So with that climb check, you're able to get about halfway up. So basically the way it works is you've got the wall that goes up about 8 feet, and then there's like a very small ledge up there where up there the wall is about 2 inches wider than it is down, and it's got a different material. Like down here you've got marble, and up there you've got stone.
Okay.
So there's areas where you can hold, where some of the mortar is faded or fallen away, and then of course that little ledge is big enough for you to stand on with that climb check. But it would take another one to get the rest of the way up to where those timbers are braced.
Okay, that's what I'll try.
Yeah, so that doesn't do it. So you're looking for handholds and trying to pull yourself up, and you've got the dexterity and strength for it usually, but there's just not enough grip. So, I mean, you don't fall back down. You just get back to that ledge, not really able to make any progress.
I guess I can just try it until I fail hard enough to
You do see up here in the corner, or not in the corner, but where it rounds the corner, like in this area,
Okay.
that a couple of these braces go at a downward angle to hold up the centerpiece. And there you might be able to get a hold of one of those that is at a downward angle.
Okay, well, yeah, let's try to move down there and try it from that spot.
Okay. No luck. Yeah, you still don't like fall down. Now, from when you get to there, you can hear boot steps again, and now you see those bugbears. They've made their way here, so now you can kind of tell the way that hallway runs. And they're headed up in this direction. But on that climb check, you were like trying to scramble up there, and it didn't work, so you sort of slid back down to a little alcove. But you see this one on the right. He's like, huh?
What was that?
And like he stops to listen, and he shushes his friend.
Well, if the only movement I'll make is to duck fully out of sight, and then I'll prick my ears up and see if they start moving towards me.
Okay.
In which case I'll retreat.
All right. Yeah, so you duck back. Now, Rohan, you unlock this chest and open it up. And, there's no traps, nothing explodes. You don't die. But it does have a lot of stuff in it. It's got a lot of coins and some bars, like pressed or like ingots, right, of the black metal that their armor's made out of, along with some gold and some silver as well. So it's got that. Those are pretty heavy.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me get you.
So Fenrith has a bag, right? Yeah.
Well, don't really know if the money or the coins are worth anything for us, but
Yeah. Although we've been picking them up and taking them with us. That gnomish.
I think they've just been handed out to us automatically. I think we just auto divide them, but we might want to take one of the bars that they make their armor from. We might be able to research it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for the most part, I was figuring we just do a quick glance at everything in here.
Yeah. Do you have your detect magic on, or
I can turn it on if you want.
it might not be a bad idea in this room.
Well, there are reasons not to want it turned on.
Such as?
Well, what if there's an explosive rune?
True.
Right now, I'm not really looking at anything. I'm not reading magic, But I turn that on. Oh, what's this pretty rune?
Yeah, so it's got those coins and it's got a bunch of gems underneath those coins and those ingots.
The gems we definitely take. We never know when we're going to need those.
And pearls.
Yeah, pearls.
Hopefully pearls. But yeah, I'll pass all that stuff off to just kind of move it aside as I look through everything, looking more for items or scrolls or things of that nature.
I was more hoping to find anything about plans.
Yeah.
Not that I could read it, I guess. We'd have to have Fenrith do that.
Well, then we...
I might have a decipher script spell.
Doesn't that tongues... Or no, that's just speaking, isn't it? The potion that we got.
Well, there's another one that for sure would work. Let's see. Comprehend languages, I believe.
Yeah.
Also works on script, but I don't have it prepared. Let's see if I have a scroll of it. And then we'd still probably have to save it for when we rest for tonight. Yeah, I do have a scroll of comprehend language.
All right, now roll a percentile dice for me, Rohan.
Percentile. I hope that's good.
You find a great red worm.
Okay.
I'll make it my pet. I do need a new animal companion.
It's not an animal.
We'll pretend.
Beast.
We'll pretend. I'll name him Fluffy.
Although there's probably feats or something for high level for expanding that, I'm sure.
I know there's for paladins
Yeah.
where you can convince like silver dragons or blue dragon. Not blue, what is it? Bronze?
Yeah. The silver, bronze, and gold ones are the ones that would...
Well, no, like one of them is like really gung-ho. Like
I think
silver is one,
silver, yeah.
and I think bronze, because it's a blue dragon equivalent, they like going after other dragons too, and so they'll usually mount up for you.
And then Ranger does have some feats for
Yeah, there's
higher level.
magical beast companion.
Yeah.
It's epic level.
So we'll just have to have him wait a little while.
What's the
And
prerequisite?
come back.
It looks like you'd have to cross-class druid because wild shape is one of them. But other than that, knowledge, nature, 24 ranks.
Okay, now roll another
I can get that.
percentile.
All right. And another percentile. Nice. I think.
All right, so you find a... Let's see.
I need to see some of those rolls in Call of Cthulhu when doing my skill upgrade checks.
I was going to say, you kind of want the opposite of those rolls.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But like on those ones where I have a 90 skill.
Mm-hmm.
And
You always manage to succeed on your luck, even though you get it down to like 17 or something.
yeah. Roll a 5 or a 3.
All right, so you don't. So what happens there is you're looking through that stuff and you just see the coins and all that, and you're sort of, brushing them aside to see what's underneath. But the raven jumps down and starts scratching at those coins and moving them out of the way. And that's how you find this silver raven figurine buried underneath those coins.
So one just like him?
I mean, I mean, it's clearly a raven, and it's silver.
We are also in the past.
True, this might actually be him. Because he started out as a silver raven figurine too, didn't he?
I don't know on that.
Well, yeah, but then he was clearly stone. This is made out of silver.
Okay. I found him a brother.
Let me get you. Yeah, okay. So this thing is, it's a silver figurine of a raven that's about half the size of the real raven.
Okay.
So that's what you find in that chest.
Okay. I'll kind of look it over a little bit and eventually pass everything over to Fenrith to put in the bag.
Okay.
I almost think I might want to or need to cast comprehend languages and go through some of this cleric's writings.
Well, we can always take it with us, can't we?
Maybe, but it might be too late by then.
True.
And were you going to keep any of the coins or the ingots?
I want a couple of the ingots at least.
Yeah.
Of which ones?
Of the ones that seem to be made out of their, or that they make their armor from. The dark ingots or whatever
Okay.
they are. As long as they don't seem to be like corroding suddenly or anything like that.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then what were you going to do, Casimir? You said something about casting a spell?
Yeah, I'm going to pull out a scroll of comprehend language and use that. Let's see, I don't need to make a concentration check on this. Will that get rid of it? Dink. Anyway, where'd the spell go? So this is basically like a Google Translate. So like slang and various other nuances of languages will be lost and it will be a direct translation.
Okay.
So I can understand a spoken word of a creature or read otherwise incomprehensible written messages. In either case, you must touch the creature or the writing, which are the pages in this case.
Right.
Let's see. I can read up to 250 words per minute. So this will probably be happening while Justin's going through the chest.
Okay.
And I'll just skim a bunch. I'm looking for stuff about what's going on here.
All right. Yeah. So reading through, you immediately understand that this guy he keeps meticulous records, and what this writing is a detail of the amounts of people that are being sacrificed towards what he only refers to as the objective. So he's got lists of hobgoblins, and some of them he'll put like a profession, right? This was a hobgoblin bow maker or hobgoblin baker. And a lot of them, it just puts warrior, right? And some of them are blank if he doesn't know. But it describes their general appearance, height and weight, that sort of thing. And then you've got halflings and elves, and you've got trolls and goblins and orcs. And so he's got lists of those who are used in the sacrificial rituals, those who are used for labor, those who are not captives, but on his side, right? On their side, and what functions they carry out. And when certain people are due for a promotion, what disciplinary actions have been taken against other people.
Okay.
Things like that.
So just basic management type.
Yeah,
stuff.
like administrative stuff, right? So, but what you do find by the time Rowan's finished digging around in that chest is that this is a new section for what he refers to as the operation. and he's been assigned to it to see if they can make anything out of this area.
Okay.
So a lot of work, whatever that work may be, hasn't started here yet, right? Because you can see he's also got like basically request forms asking for more labor,
Okay.
and a lot of answers saying no,
Nah.
that sort of thing, and requests out for supplies. So basically what you can gather is whatever objective they're working towards and whatever his individual objectives are, work has pretty much just begun in this section.
Okay. Well, we have some good news, Rohan. It seems the ritual has only just begun. Any idea on the numbers of sacrifices?
Yeah, so when you're reading about that section, and it's like it's a basic rundown of what's taken place so far, the numbers are like extreme. Like we're talking in the tens of thousands, right? But you get the sense that it's been going on a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's not like we got to start tomorrow and all of it has to be done at once. It's like so far, this is the point we've reached and we have many more to go. That sort of thing. You also can get the sense from his writings that a sacrifice they're not all equal, right? Like the individual, certain aspects of the individual make a difference in it. So some are more desirable than others.
Mm-hmm. This amount of bloodletting is staggering that they're performing here.
Yeah, and it's like there's another section you find that is written in a different hand, and it's way older, and you can tell it's been read a lot, and some of the ink is smudged. But basically, it's an essay from somebody explaining why the breeding program was a failure. And throughout this essay, as you read it, you understand that you put together that someone at some point had the idea, why go to war? Why do raids when we can just breed the captives and use those? And it was a complete disaster. Like
Revolt type thing? Or?
No, the sacrifices just were not accepted. No. They weren't, for whatever reason, whatever effect the sacrifices are supposed to have, they just wouldn't have on captives bred in that fashion. Mm-hmm. So
it's kind of like the Isle of Penance. That's basically what they were doing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except for some reason, it seems that the ability for them to breed worked. Yeah. Perhaps it was because they were given some sort of freedom or something.
Possibly.
Maybe more so than what they had here.
Yeah, so it's when you're thinking about that, the one thing for sure that you can tell is different about there and here was that there it was exclusively elves. Mm-hmm. Were the sacrifices. Here, it's like when you're looking at the list, it's almost never elves. Almost never. Mostly it's, and it's very rarely halflings. It's mostly bugbears and then hobgoblins.
It also could be the god that they were sacrificing to, or the idea of it.
Yeah.
That one seemed to be more of a, I don't know, like trying to get its physical presence in here. I don't think that what they're sacrificing to here could probably manifest physically in a way that would be comprehensible to us.
Well, I didn't fully comprehend the last one either, but all I know is that we should probably try and stop it from happening.
Well, let's try this secret door.
All right, so last thing that you are able to read by the time you give up is a rundown on what he's supposed to be looking out for once he gets operations underway. And that helps you to understand that mostly he's here to set up mining operations. And so in that group of papers, you get a basic understanding of the metals involved here, right?
Okay.
And so basically what you come to understand is that they're using mithril that the dwarves of Underhome used to be famous for. But because of the odd behavior, absence in most cases of magic, it doesn't take to spells the way it should. So not only do they have this operation underway for whatever the objective is, but they're also they found a way to use the sacrifices to empower their arms and armor in a way that they're not capable of doing because of the way magic is behaving. So it's like their workaround. So, so what it describes that black mithril as mithril that has been purified under these conditions that makes it usable, like the ingots in that chest there.
And technically much the same way our armor seems to take to us.
Yeah. Only we don't have to die for it to.
Yeah, and
We could.
well, there's something about that too, because in his writings he speaks of a extreme frustration over the fact that the armor and the weapons and the equipment they make, they become attuned to the owner, and then once that owner dies, it's unusable and it's a waste. That's what makes him angry, because he says, if we keep supplying people with these expensive, then it just puts the objective off even further, right? So, and that's something else you've seen on the ones that you've killed. Their weapons and their gear don't survive long after they do. So that's a weakness, but it's the best they've been able to come up with so far. Anyway, so that's the stuff you learn from reading through his stuff.
Toss the pile of papers I was thumbing through back on the desk and pick up my trident.
Okay.
Did Venrith find anything in the crates? He had been prying them open with the crowbar.
Yep. He found a lot of manacles connected to long chains. There's also a lot of mining equipment in there, pickaxes and hammers and things of that nature. A lot of smocks that look freshly made. And it's kind of funny because they, like, you can tell they're brand new, but they already look like they've been worn for 100 years by the same person. So, and then there's some like sacks of like flour and things like that, but nothing that's immediately useful to you guys.
Okay. I do want to take one last kind of go around this room for a search check, just for anything that we missed.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like that's about it.
Okay.
All right, so back to the hidden door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to step back. I'm going to let Casimir open the door after I show him where the latch is.
Okay. All right, Graham. So he stops for a minute and he shushes his friend, but then after a moment, they continue on down the hallway.
Okay, once I can't, or I can only hear them faintly, I'll move down to this corner here.
Okay. All right. So looking around that corner, you see those two bugbears have gotten to about here, moving in a westerly direction. And it's also at this corner, it's actually as you move past this spot here, where you see where you could easily make it up to those rafters, because there's a alcove that might have once held like a statue, and there's also torch sconce on here. And in fact, looking across over to here, you can see one there too, although there are not lit torches in it. But with those handholds, you could easily make it up there.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Am I the only source of light in this area?
No, this room has light.
Just not from those torches?
Right.
All right, yeah, I'll try to climb up at this easier spot.
Okay. What is your climb skill?
Plus, well, I have 4 ranks in it, but with gear, my total's +2 with check penalty in there.
Okay. Well, you can make that with a 10 then. You're just taking a 10.
Okay. Well, I'll do that then.
All right, but that means you got to stay on there.
Right. On those squares that have the
Yeah.
beams.
Yeah, so you you get to hear where it goes ahead, and then you decide where to go from there. But in that room, let me describe the scene to you, because there's a conversation going on in that room right now. A heated conversation, actually. So, across that room, you see a throne on a dais, smaller, opulent chairs on either side of it, and then a giant statue behind that. And there are torches set into the pillars that they don't flicker. They give a pretty bright light. And let's see, in that throne, not in it, but above it, hovers a large round creature with eye stalks and a giant eye in the center of its face, and a massive gaping mouth with razor sharp teeth that saliva is constantly dripping out of. Now, you've seen something like this before. You had a vision of something like this before, right? So this one is black mostly, with yellow and red splotches here and there. And you can see in its open mouth, those razor sharp teeth are tipped with a shiny metal, right? Like shiny metal caps have been put over those teeth. But it's not alone. So let me get these set on here as soon as I find it. Let's see. So this thing, like it just floats above that throne, like it would be sitting in it, but it doesn't sit, obviously. And there is a halfling in front of him. Now this guy will do. So this halfling, you can tell because of the size, he's facing away from you. And he's talking to this beholder. He's got like black full plate with spikes on it. And he's got a cape, this really thick, really well-made cape. And you can see the hilt of a sword on his back. And he's covered head to toe in steel and spikes. And he's saying something to that beholder there. And his voice is odd. It rings out and sort of echoes, right? Like he's saying it from a deep chamber somewhere, but he's right there. And he's complaining about how his dragon was almost killed. He wasn't given the proper intelligence on the creature or on the intruders. There is a man, maybe elf. You can't see because it's wearing robes and a hood, and it's facing away from you, but it's about 6 feet tall, so probably an elf, based on the slimness of its shape, is standing in front of that beholder as well. And then there is just an extraordinarily beautiful woman also standing in front of that beholder, but she's to the side a little bit and facing your direction. So she's looking at the two that are addressing the beholder, and they're having this conversation. So let me get those two set up on there.
Don't drip blood on them.
I'm probably bleeding.
It's like a small, steady stream of blood drips right behind him.
Yeah, I think he looks like Carrie at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Just that it's not pig's blood, it's his blood.
They probably just think I'm one of the monsters that's in the dungeon.
You're some sort of undead that's just shambling through.
Yeah, you're probably all bruised from the fall, so you look like those bloated corpses that have been attacking. Kind of squishy like they are, too.
I can't remember a subdual and regular damage. They're on tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if the subdual overcomes your physical hit point current value at any point, you're knocked out.
Yeah.
So you have 5 hit points. So if you got 5 subdual, or
then I'll be
Yeah. So the point is to get it further beyond, right? Just become so knocked out you're awake. And
Okay.
You can't be.
Well, if anything bad happens, I'll just jump from these rafters, knock myself out. They wouldn't kill an unconscious person, would they?
No, you just start back at the beginning of the dungeon, unconscious again.
They probably got elf traps up here and these little piece of cheese and a mouse trap.
Some leaves.
I'm like scurrying along. Huh?
Blades of grass. Who left this here?
I'm so hungry.
Somewhere in the dungeon, Casimir took 2 steps to the left.
All right. So, like I said, there's a heated discussion going on. This halfling is very angry because his dragon, he says his dragon was almost killed because he wasn't given the proper intelligence. Now, this woman, she's, like I said, she's the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. She's got this really thick, deep red hair. She's dressed all in red, as a matter of fact, and she's dressed in a way that beats scandalous back home. Like, none of the girls back from your village would dress that way. Not due to the amount of skin that's shown, because that's common because it's a tropical island, but just you can tell she's dressed for effect, right? And so she's dressed all in red. Most looks like leather, and she's got like jewelry, necklaces, rings, things like that. She also carries a sword at her waist, and she has the look of a person who knows how to use it. She's got this smirk on her face as she is listening to the halfling give his complaints. The beholder, its large central eye is closed, right? And its eye stalks are turning to look at each person as they're talking. Now, they all seem to be paying deference to this mysterious robed figure in front of the beholder. Even the beholder looks like apprehensive, although he's not saying anything at the moment. So these bugbears continue on their path. They're headed this direction, and you watch and you can see that they're like purposely, pointedly not paying attention to the conversation that's taking place.
If I were an evil beholder, I'd just kill those bugbears for fun. Yeah, well, I just want to eavesdrop
Okay.
for a while.
All right.
I can see that woman's whole ankle.
We're from a tropical island. That's
That's
okay.
right.
It's like the cut of the clothes that are probably doing it or something.
It's like hugging
Yeah.
and revealing.
Well, Graham's probably taking a turn for the murderess. He's probably like, I can't wait to sink my dagger into her.
I have not.
No?
I'm probably shaking
Because you haven't stabbed anyone recently?
because I'm out of my element. This is my element, but I don't think I was wrong. I made a mistake.
So the conversation basically is the halfling complaining about it, but then that man raises his hand, and just like that, the halfling stops, like immediately, and then you hear that man say, "The threat indeed is misunderstood. It seems as though my efforts to impart the seriousness of this onto you has failed." And right then, like all 3 of the others, they start to like offer excuses. Like you can see that woman, she points at the boulder. I told him, and then the halfling is like, nobody would listen when I. So he holds up his hand again, and they immediately grow quiet. And then when he doesn't say anything, the beholder speaks up and says, "I beg your forgiveness, O great one, but why don't you simply destroy them?" And you can tell like he's nervous to ask that. And at first the man doesn't answer, but after a few moments he says, I've tried to explain that would bring a greater disaster. Now is not the time for their destruction. Now is the time to stop them from bringing about our destruction. Now he turns to the halfling and he says, "Heal your dragon and return to the task I put you to. And then he turns back to the beholder and he says, now, where do we stand on the rest of it? And the beholder says, everything else is running on schedule. As long as we're able to stop them from interfering, then the ritual should be completed in time. And
this is where I do ventriloquism. Remind me again what the ritual is.
do you want to do that?
Are you sure?
I want to, but I don't.
What would Graham do? Embody Graham.
All
right.
I never thought of it. I don't think.
I like to think Graham would be walking into the throne room area, of kind of like brushing his teeth and nodding.
Yeah. Okay. So then the man, this mysterious man says, good. See that nothing takes us off our schedule. And then you feel like a subtle shift in the energy of the room, right? Like you couldn't put your finger on any one thing, but if you had to, you'd say that suddenly that halfling is like, he's turned to face that man and his stance is not what it was. That woman looks a little uncomfortable, which is an alien look on her face. And there seems to be like a springing tension to the beholder. And the beholder says, it is a shame that you won't see your plans come into fruition. And then it opens up its central eye, right? And you can feel the magic turn off of your equipment, right? Because you're within that arc. And so that's how it happens. Like the beholder opens its eye, it's pointed right at this guy. At that same moment, the halfling draws his sword, and you can see that woman, she actually takes a step back, right? But two elven warriors, they come tearing around this statue in the back. Let me put them on there.
Too bad. You will die.
So these two elven warriors come out from around that statue, and they charge this guy. They've got their weapons already drawn. They're snarling, right? And this halfling steps forward to swing his sword as well. So, does Graham know anything about beholders? Were you involved in any of those conversations with the rest of the group?
Sorry. You know what you know.
As far as I know, I had described it when I first saw it when we first got here, but I don't think I was around for subsequent conversation.
You had one of those visions where you essentially were embodying a beholder, so you
whatever I had from that.
Yeah, that'll be enough for you to know that central eye shuts off magic. It makes it completely, it just makes magic not work in everything that eye is pointed at, right? So, I mean, you don't know the inner politics of this, but obviously they've set up this ambush on this man who just a moment ago they were showing deference to, and he was giving orders as if he expected them to be obeyed. But then these elves come charging out and this halfling attacks. So as that halfling moves to attack, you get just the right angle to see inside its helmet, and there's no face. It's just blackness and 2 points of red light in there. You don't know what that means, but so then everything else happens like at once, and it's hard to put together exactly. But the two elven warriors that came charging around, like 1 second they've got their weapons overhead, they're charging this guy, and the next they're shaped wrong, right? Like they were made of paper and something crumpled them up, right? So you can hear like this loud pop and wet tearing sound, like in the blink of an eye. And they just crumble to the ground and they slide across the marble floor, with eyeballs popped out of sockets and, their heads facing the wrong way. And then you hear a loud explosion, and this halfling goes flying for infinity. Like, seriously, out of your vision. He flies straight back this direction until you can't see him anymore. You do hear a loud clatter and screech as his spikes scrape along the floor.
I think I want to interject, Brandon, if I may,
Objection.
and use this as an opportunity to move.
Okay.
So I'll trace out my route here. Like so.
You want to move across to there?
And then what the heck?
To there? Is that what you meant to do?
Yeah, I was trying to stay on
Yeah.
the rafters.
Okay.
Yeah, that way I can. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
You want to be here?
Yeah, that's cool. This way I can start to move off a different way. Although the glimpse I get in that room, I'm like, maybe I'll go back. But I'll pause there to see how everything's doing. And so what I imagine is, I'm up on this beam on all fours, just kind of
Yeah.
scurrying along.
Okay.
And I'll see how the action looks from there.
All right. Yeah. So you get to there. And so now you actually can see that halfling. And I have to put a limit on your vision at some point, but he does slide like till you can't see him anymore, straight down that hallway.
I do have another point to bring up. If my magic shut off, doesn't it mean I'm dead?
No, it doesn't mean you're dead. Why would it mean you're dead?
My amulet hit points.
Yeah. No,
What is it?
you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. Like it would, like a normal, but this is like narration, so his eye wasn't open long enough, right? This is just for story purposes.
Although I was kind of, I'll look at it later. I suppose I wouldn't know that in character.
Well, yeah.
I was just wondering what the limits of that ray or the field
Cone.
is.
Yeah.
If it's blocked by materials or anything like that.
Well, that's another good point, right?
Yeah.
Like where you are on that.
Because I'd mostly be
Yeah.
covered, I guess,
Yeah.
if that matters at all. Does it have to be lead? Is it like radiation?
Yeah. Well, I'll have to look at the rules. But anyway, this is like cutscene, so just what I say goes.
You only lost the extra hit points to your head and some like one of your feet.
Yeah, there's more to your amulets than you has been revealed. That's why I tell you to ignore that when the magic turns
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I heard it for these guys. I just wasn't sure if it was what was going on. All right, carry on.
Yeah, so that's like in the blink of an eye, and then this man turns and looks at that beholder, and that beholder like slunks down like a dog when you're angry at the dog. You know how they get small. It's still floating, but it's like that central eye is like wide with terror, and so are the smaller ones, and they're like sort of twirling around nervously. But this man, he's like, that is quite disappointing. But he doesn't sound like it. Like whenever he talks, it sounds like someone
pompous.
acting like they know how to have a normal conversation, just a little bit off, right? And then, so he says, that's disappointing. And you see now from this angle, he's got a staff in his hand.
Maybe I could mimic that guy. That's how I feel all the time.
Yeah. Right. So then almost like to himself, he says, now what, how should I punish this? Like he's talking to himself. And then he says, well, I have to, what is it that he always said? I have to get the message across in a language that they understand. So he steps forward and he raises his hand, and you can see ripples along the outer edges of this beholder, like some force is, squeezing in on it and pulls it down right into this guy's face. And he says, okay, I think what we'll need to do is punish you for that. And like he does like a knife chop motion with his other hand, and two of the eye stalks get sliced off. Right. So, like the beholder screams in pain, but this man's like, don't be melodramatic about it. They'll grow back. But surely this has gotten the message across to you not to try such a thing again. And the beholder's like, yes, of Great master, my apologies. It was the halfling made me do it, right? Just trying to offer excuses or whatever. But then the man says, just let this be a lesson that you have no understanding whatsoever of my power. Now, get back to work. Don't make me come back here. And then he just turns and leaves, heads off this direction. Now, roll a spot.
You want a tower?
Yeah. So just by whatever chance, random chance, you happen to glance at that woman and she's looking right at you and she winks at you and then looks away. She steps forward and after the man is gone, she says to the beholder, I told you. And the beholder like snarls at her. But she's obviously not afraid because like he brings some of his eye stalks to bear and she doesn't seem concerned about it, but she just does this little laugh and she says, well, hopefully you don't need to be taught that lesson again. And she does this sort of light, almost a skip as she leaves in this direction.
And just like that, she was out of our lives forever.
Yeah. So by this point, like these bugbears were long gone. Like by the time they realized that something like that was about to occur, they just took off, right? So they're long gone.
Took some guts to walk through the room to begin with.
Now the beholder, it starts floating off in this direction, and as it gets to about here, this halfling returns. He comes back and he's obviously furious, but he's asking how could he do that? And the beholder's like, I don't know, but we'd better not cross him again. And they leave off in this direction together. And so you're left alone in this throne room here with these crumpled, mangled bodies on the floor beneath you.
Well, my muscles are all seized up.
You're like a cat caught in the branches of a tree.
Right. Someone's got to come save me. I'll just wait here for my companions. Well, no, I'll start scurrying away. I guess I'll be like, oh, they're never going to believe me when I tell them what happened.
You'll get hungry eventually and have to come down anyway.
But yeah, I'll start heading off to the east.
Okay. Now, Casimir. So you open up this secret door.
Yeah.
Okay. So you open it up and then you see this chamber that's not, this is a natural chamber.
Yeah.
And there's large boulders in it. And from your vantage point, you can see there's a ladder and then a hatch in the ceiling.
It's going the wrong direction.
Yeah, I'll take a couple...
Or wait, hang on. Let me look at my notes.
All right.
No, you're right. It's a hatch in the floor.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take a couple steps in, have my trident kind of ready.
I'll try and position myself in a way that I can...
And if I don't see anything, I'll turn and say it looks clear.
Yeah, you don't see anything in there. It's just an empty chamber.
Is there an obvious way to close the door from this side?
Yeah.
I'd hate to say it, Rohan, but perhaps this is a good place to rest.
Maybe our best option.
How does this place look? Is it... It's a natural cavern, but is it like semi-clean or is it...
No, I mean, it's you know, like natural. There's not.
Okay.
It's not been used, so like the floor is uneven and it's dust and dirt and rocks. And,
Perfect.
yeah, it's not.
I'll
The only smooth section is where you can see people would walk from that secret door over to the
okay.
hatch.
Yeah, I'll tell the monk and goblin, I believe, right?
Yeah, the hobgoblins.
Hobgoblins.
They're both monks.
Yeah. I forget. It was orc or something that they spoke, though, right? It was one of my languages. They spoke Celestial for
They
John.
speak Celestial, and let me find them.
Yeah, it's goblin or orc. I speak both.
Let's see.
But
Yeah, they also speak Goblin.
okay, yeah. So I'll apologize to them, but we need to stop for the day. We've been put through the ringer.
He whispers something to his father, the younger one does, but his father nods and he says, yeah, this is as good a place as any.
All right.
We too have been up for many days.
Rohan, see if there's a way to secure that trapdoor over there. I'll close the door to this room.
Oh, we've got these big rocks over on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Let's just move one of them on top.
What if they're attached to the ground?
Yeah, we'll hack them off.
Yeah, I mean, you can find some reasonably sized stones to put over that if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very least, it'll give us warning if anything tries to come up through there.
Okay, so we're going to rest in here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I guess I can do some identifying before we go to bed. See about those potions. Let me check the spellcraft. I'll try that first.
And down go more pearls.
Not if I can do it with spellcraft.
Oh.
Yeah, so among the gems that you had found in that chest, 6 of them were pearls.
Ooh, nice. What was it? I think you said I could roll spellcraft to appraise them for the purposes of components,
Yeah.
right? So you want me to do that? See if they're usable for identifying?
Yeah.
Spellcraft. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, all 6 of those can be used for that purpose. Okay. And then Graham, so you wanted to head off in this direction?
Yes.
All right. So this is from what you can tell, it's like a refuse heap / butcher shop. Like there's just a lot of body parts in here and a lot of blood, right? You can tell from a lot of the body parts that they've been chewed on by really large teeth. And so then there's also just general garbage back here as well.
Okay, with some trepidation, I'll pass through the area.
So the only thing else of note that you see here is that there is a hole down here, but it's in the ceiling. That's just the best way I could depict it on there with this particular map.
Okay,
So it looks like it's in the floor, but it's actually in the ceiling.
but I would have to get down from my...
Well, because, yeah, the support you're on is not connected to that support over there.
Well, I'll leave this for another time, but make a mental note of it. Fortunately, I can't keep mental notes. And I'll head back to the throne room.
Okay.
And so that's cleared out now, huh? There's
Yep.
nothing but the corpses.
Right. Nobody in there now.
Let's just do this real quick. I'll just get over to the other side, staying up in the rafters.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you move along through here, and you can see the hallway branches up or to the left, or continues on the way you were going. But that, towards the left there, the supports end, and you can see a door on the ground down there, or on the floor level.
Gotcha.
And then going north, you can see a door along that wall as it angles off to the right.
I choose north.
Okay.
Keep scurrying.
All right. Now, what were you wanting to identify?
The potions using spellcraft. I put the 2 rolls in. I needed a 25 or more. I got a 30 and a 20. So I'll have to identify that using a pearl in the morning.
All right. Did you put those in your inventory, or are they still in
Yeah,
the
they're in
party's?
my inventory. So the first one would be the one that's identified.
Could Fenrith also make a check?
If he has a spellcraft, yeah.
All right. Unidentified item?
Yeah. I believe they were both potions, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a potion of levitate.
Nice.
I've identified it for you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, if Fenrith can't do it, I'll prepare identify in the morning.
Yeah, no, he identifies that one as a potion of water walk.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, so did you take the pearls?
Yeah. Oh, they were actually in the...
Yeah, in the party sheet.
All right. Well, just wipe them out because I already got pearls for that.
Okay. All right, so are you going to do any watch tonight?
Yeah. I'll take last.
Okay. Graham, so you go north, and as you would pass this section, you see this little alcove there with a grate in the floor. Who knows what its purpose is, but that's what you see. Now, roll a search in the tower. Okay. All right, so you get to this door. It's closed. It's below you. So, I mean, you'd have to get out of these rafters.
Right.
And as you're looking around there, you detect something odd about the wall right here. Just got a weird look to it, this particular section.
Looking at me kind of funny.
It's got a face in it.
All right. Well, I'll make sure the way is clear for the time being, and I'll drop out of the rafters and go inspect that wall closer.
You take 5 points of damage from dropping out of rafters.
Yeah, so there's this is a false wall. And what's more is you can determine that it has not operated, hasn't been used or opened in a really long time.
Well, why would they? They made it so you can't see it. Nobody knows it's here. They wouldn't go
If
through
you're
it.
going to make something like that, why would you then use it for the opposite reason? Doesn't make any sense. Of course you're going to forget about it.
So, is it going to make a great big noise if I try to move through it?
Depends on your move silently.
Well, let's give it a shot. Here's move silently. Do you need an open lock or anything?
Yeah, you'll have to do an open lock. All right. So you manage to silently open this section of wall. It pushes inward. And as you step in, it starts to close behind you. And you're in this small room with 2 bookshelves filled with books that, I mean, it's just absolutely caked with dust. There's no footprints. Nobody's been in here. And, well, just looking at the amount of dust, it's at least been decades since anyone's been in here. All right. So there you are in that room, and the rest of you are safe in this room for now and setting up your watches to get some rest, and that's where we'll call it a day.
Awesome.
Thanks,
man.
Yeah,
Good
thank
to
you.
be back. This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.